Hi, hope everyone is doing well. I received the email in regards to the defamation letter, and I'll just respond to it quickly. Paragraphs 3.6, 3.7. Which one is this? We have only 1, 2, 3, 5 points over here. So I'm not sure regarding this. And the reasons which you have, the reasons for holding my pay is very dynamic. Every time you have a new thing. Now you have low performance levels. Previous meeting you had legal issues. Before that you had £750 loss. It's another case for some other day. But coming to the review, what I have told is the truth in its entirety. There's nothing false or wrong. It can't be defamatory if it's the truth, right? And if we find the truth to be defamatory, then there needs to be something worked upon. But let me go through this entire thing. And I think it's a bit more blunt, as in it's not sugar coated. It's just straight away words. I have sent 13, 17 page PDFs, once to Pranay and Mani, they lost it, once to Samson as well. But to summarize it, this is what has happened, and I have written that not to defame the company or cause loss, but to just alert future employees that this is what has been happening and might happen in the future. At least this is what I can do in my capacity, right? Coming to the review itself, I'll just go it by paragraph, so you understand my perspective as to what I'm saying, right? There's nothing wrong in this. I'll reword it, maybe that will help. And the pandemic, there's no doubt we were losing contracts before the pandemic, and just like every other business, we should have lost contracts in the pandemic. You told about your friends, how they lost contracts and how they came to you. That was the same situation with us. You had a migrant crisis on head. You had the second wave where a lot of people died, and then you had a third wave where people were panicking. There were no applicants on job post. You had Indeed. That's where you took candidates from. That was a primary source, and there was no secondary options available. And no doubt I had survived on one meal a day. That was how hectic the work was. So understanding the fact that there are no employees coming in, you have to source people, and sourcing and recruitment are two different ends. In sourcing, you are more actively like doing sales, getting leads, and asking them to actually consider coming to the site for 10-15 pounds. While you're doing job post, it's pretty much easy. You just post it, and after 3 days you check and you just hire someone. Unlike sourcing, you are posting in maybe 100 Facebook groups, reaching out to 200 people, and dropping random messages on Instagram, getting blocked and what so not. So that's a completely different story. But I did it for the company, for the greater good, to not lose 16-18 contracts. And when I say 16-18, I mean the top contracts which we had: Cornwall Gardens, 1117 Finchley Schools, Cambridge Court, Manor House, and a list of contracts which actually had a high value attached to them. If losing them would actually bring a lot of loss and a significant damage to the company as a whole, because these were recurring revenues for the company as a whole, and they played a significant part. So I just took it upon my responsibility to make sure that we do not lose contracts in this pandemic. And 20-hour work days, you won't see it on the time tracker because Hub staff doesn't work on mobile. I never tried it. And a lot of hours which I spent on my phone, reaching out to people on Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and all the social media sites. Basically, get WhatsApp groups. How can I forget WhatsApp groups? And joining random student communities, messaging to unions, messaging to my friends who were studying in London earlier, and asking them to ask their juniors if they are interested. All these things which actually went unbilled and unnoticed, as if sites were going perfectly fine, because After all, they came out of the pandemic that way. In other ways, if you had lost the 16, 18 sites, you would have realized like, oh, what a big loss. But as I said, not realize the loss because it didn't happen. I made it come through of it, right? And yeah, I remember my nose was bleeding, and I was speaking with the 1117 Finchley client that okay, I'm sending someone while my nose is still bleeding. That was, and it's not something which you are unaware of. Tyron also mentioned about the client that the client is very, I would say, a bit difficult to work with, and Tyron too highlighted that when he wanted to leave, he told it's just too stressful with all these things, and I too felt it when he said that in the pandemic. Yeah, so that was another thing, and yeah, it's a trauma which I'm going through even now. It's very hard for me to actually respond to this, but I'm still mustering enough courage to actually come back. And the thing is that I do not want to cause any loss to the company, right? There's no such intention. I just want to inform other employees who are in the same boat. Now, the company is, Pranay's blame was factually incorrect. He was a junior employee to me, and initially, if you ask money, it was me who was managing Pranay, and then the role switched. Right now, Pranay, I expected him to have handled the sites, but he has no idea. For example, the lodge. Now, when an employee misses a visit on Sunday is when we clean the lodge, right? So when an employee misses a visit on Sunday, Monday is when the mobile team goes. Now, for the next visit, the employee has to go on Sunday. So that way you have a visit on Monday and then you have a visit on Sunday. That is 2 visits a week. I mean, it is 2 visits a week, but that's how the site works. Yeah, I mean, you want to skip Sunday again and then send mobile team again, or send on Monday. That doesn't work. Sam wants someone on Sunday, and regardless of when you send the mobile team, in case an employee misses, then there is bound to be a visit on Sunday itself for the next week. Similarly, for the sites, he has no idea. I mean, if he would have asked me, discussed with me when he was putting down these things, I would have clarified. I would have told him, okay, this is not how it works. This is this. Instead, you decided to keep it on for like 4, 5, 6 months, and then come to me in March and tell me that, okay, Anas, this is the sheet, and we just want to show you this. And I mean, who does that? And you have table A, which I spent close to a year resolving, and then you have table B, which you do not want to resolve. We don't have data, we don't have sources. Then what's the point of sharing it with me and telling that it's a loss? Basically, you didn't know it was a loss or not. You just accumulated, put it on a table, and tell, okay, Anas, this is what's happening, and we're going to hold your pay. But that's the reason why you held my pay in the first place, right? Then you bought this legal issues again regarding which you're holding, and then now performance issues. So not going to go ahead with this. The main reason is why you held the pay was those 2 tables, and table A was resolved. Table 2 still to date there is no resolvement, and neither there is any approach from my end to resolve it. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is not an isolated incident. Yeah, it is not. You have done the same with other employees as well. Just to name, you have done the same with Kaji, you have done the same with Saurabh, who lost his job in the pandemic and emailed everyone in the company together, and then personally came and messaged me, I lost my job, please help me. So I referred him for a job at Accenture, but still what happened to him was wrong. You didn't pay him any salary, but then came on, okay, pay 50%. So it's not just me who is here. And yeah, already explained. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now the last line, I wasn't granted a single holiday. Yeah, it's true, there was no holiday given. I'm not sure why that email is still hidden or not being shown, but go refer to it. There is leave request which I have sent, CC'd in info, CC'd in Pranay, asking for leave in October. When I applied, with the due terms and conditions a week before or 2 weeks before, whatever was it, I applied with that, and I informed. Now when I'm on my leave, I'm on the way, I'm going, I received 10 calls from Pranay on Zoom, on WhatsApp, on this and that okay, yeah, who's going here, who's going there, who's going this. I mean, that was the case. Then again I applied in November. Again, there was no response, there was no confirmation. I had flight tickets booked and sites were literally going empty. There was no one to go. I had to skip it. Yeah, and when I say skip it, these are flight costs, these are visa costs, these are quarantine costs. Mind it, this is the pandemic. You have very high costs of quarantine packages and these are non-refundable. This is a loss at my end. Yeah. Regardless, I'm not asking the company to pay for it. And I had to rebook it. Yeah. Losing it is one thing. I had to rebook all these content packages, again reissue visas, again booking flights. And it's a lot of money when you're talking in those terms. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you. Have a great day.